looking back on last game, I thought we played really, really well. And just kind of every phase, defensively, offensively, it was just a terrific 40-minute performance. We had kind of a quick, light practice yesterday. Guys were really tired because of that late game. We'll get after it today a little bit more to really, really prepare for a really good Boise State team. You know, a team that's been tested. They've got Dagenhart's one of the best players in the league. Max Rice has always been really, really good, and a veteran. Chibuzo Agbo is a really talented player. They're well coached, so going to be a great challenge. So back at it. You know, I mean, the emotions of the other day have got to be done. We got to move on and see if we can get another tough one in this building.
I know this is sort of splitting hairs. When things are going good, we kind of look for things to ask for, but is there any concern, have you ever as a coach had a concern about peaking too early?
No, I mean, I think you want to play well, right? I mean, obviously, you want to play well in the meaningful games and so on, but, I just think we're trending in a really good direction. Are we going to continue to, not endure any bumps in the road? Very, very unrealistic. The opponent has a lot to do with those things, so you just keep getting better. I mean, I think what I told our team yesterday was I look at, in today's world, with all humility and respect, but praise just like I look at criticism. It can't affect you. You've got to, and maybe the criticism's right, maybe the praise is right, but it shouldn't affect what you do on a daily basis for how you prepare. So I told them if we had lost that game versus Nevada and we were talking at the end of practice, we would all be saying the same thing. Learn from it, move on, get better. It's the same thing when you play really well. So I'd prefer to play well versus play poorly. I think everybody, coaches, players, everybody can consistently get better on a daily basis, and that's the way we approach it.
Do you even believe in the team kind of peaking, or is it just more of an energy and physical?
I think there's momentum, and I think you got to ride that wave, but then you got to just try to continue to build more momentum when you get knocked off that path. Sometimes it could be fake. Maybe you feel like things are going better than they really are, and that's okay. If that builds your confidence, great. So I think as coaches, if you're peaking too early, you could have a rebuttal. If you're not playing well, you could have a rebuttal. So I just I really, really try, and it's very hard to block out good, bad, or whatever, and just all we got is today, and let's make the best of it.
Is this similar to anything you've experienced before, where you don't get a day off, you just don't get one in this league?
Yeah. Yes.
Have you been through this before?
Yes. Yeah. Big Ten, I don't remember, but we had maybe 10 teams in the NCAA tournament. So you'd look at that Ken Palm, and there were quad ones every game. So been fortunate to coach in some really good leagues. Big Ten for 8 years. This is now going on year 3, and it's a terrific league, and it's what you want. If you're all trying to go to the NCAA tournament, you need good opportunities in front of you, and we have those.
So Boise is the top-ranked scoring defense in the league. You guys are top-ranked scoring offense. For you, just as a basketball junkie, I guess, how much do you kind of welcome that coaching challenge?
Yeah, they're very good defensively. Fundamentally sound, big. It's a challenge to score on them. So, every game provides a plethora of challenges. When they have veterans like they do, and Leon Rice has built a very consistent winning program, it's going to be a challenge to win. I mean, we got him here at our place, and that was a great game. But it wasn't easy, and I certainly expect a rock fight, so to speak, with the way they play defensively. Now, can we get out and run and do those things? Obviously, our defense has created a lot of our offense, so that's been good. So hopefully we can continue to do that.
After the game on Sunday, Jalen was asked kind of about how he's going to approach taking on the Broncos, and he said, we're not changing how we approach any team. Do you think that's just kind of been the mindset you've seen from these guys at practice and lately?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a consistent mindset of, and I say this all the time, be humble in practice, but be arrogant in the games, and when I say be humble, meaning, you're never too good to work hard in any drill or any 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3, 5-on-0, post guards, shooting drills, and so on. Be very humble. But then whoever you play, have a great level of confidence that you put in the work. So, you may change a pick and roll scheme, you may change a post defense scheme or whatever, but it's all the same. You want to play hard, right? But you really need to compete this time of year, and physically and mentally, because you feel great right now, but you still got 10 league games left. You got conference tournament and so on. So still a long season ahead of us.
How do you feel you've matched up well with Boise?
Well, we had last year was a different team for them, for us. Shaver was a really good player. Najee's a really good player. But they've got some core guys back, and we've got some core guys back. And I thought both games were good. They got us later in the year, second half. But I think, we've got a high level of respect for them. I have a high level of respect for Tyson Degenhardt. I think he's one of the best players in the country. I think Max Rice is one of the most underrated players in the country. Buzo Agbo, we recruited and really liked them. So I think they've got good talent. I think they're well coached. We've got to compete our butts off to beat them, and it's going to be a tough challenge.
As a follow-up to matchup specifically, it's kind of hard to pick at anything JT's done as a freshman. But he is about to see, Omar Stanley and Tyson Degenhardt, and I know San Diego State presented some similar problems with some big physical bigs. But what do you expect from the Omar Stanley, Tyson Degenhardt against your front court?
Yeah, we've got to kind of decide what we want to do there. Stanley, I gave my dad crap. I said, he was at St. John's. He was a really good player. You should have found a way to keep him. But they're like interchangeable 4-5s. And Stanley's playing well as of late, and so you're going to have to decide how you want to guard those guys. And it's not, although Degenhardt's been in the league longer, Stanley's one of the best transfers in the league. So, and he's physical, and he's quick, and he's long, and he can make shots now. So everybody, JT, whoever guards Stanley, whoever guards Degenhardt, they've got to be ready.
I know you've known about this team all year, and you knew that the possibilities were pretty high if everything started clicking. But it seems like just these 5 games, the nation has sort of finally opened their eyes a little bit and started paying attention. Maybe some John Fantas of the world knew about it at the beginning of the season. But I'm curious if you're getting asked repeatedly about, wow, why are things working so well, and kind of what you keep telling people from the outside that maybe are just catching up with what your team's doing.
Get out of my face is what I tell them when they walk up to me at the group. No, it was the same story last year, after 21 games, right? It was going really well then. It's just kind of the way it is, especially when you're at a place that really cares locally. I went to my daughter's basketball game, you got people coming up to you. Then we went to Panera to pick up a sandwich. I'm getting people come up to me, and it's great. That's fine. You appreciate it. But you just try to stay the course and not get too high or get too low when you lose to UNLV. And you're asking me, how do you deal with the criticism and all that? It's like it's part of the deal. And then nationally, they're going to kind of latch on to storylines that may be interesting. And if we lose, they'll move on to something else. So it's just part of it all. There's so many stories written before the season ends. You can get bracketology now in November, and people click on it. I read it. You can get you get Players of the Week awards. You get Coach of the Week awards. All these awards that are being given out before the end of the season. So as I told them in the locker room yesterday, I said all of it, great. Be very, very appreciative, but it's not what the goals are of this team. They're not going to be given out right now at the end of January. So just take advantage of what's presented in front of you. Be appreciative when people say good things about you. I've told them over and over again, when you win, it puts you on a stage. like you got to get to the stage, especially for these guys. They want to play at the next level. People need to know about them and all those things. But what you do when you get there, that's the most important thing. So just keep moving forward because it can all go away quickly.
Blowouts are part of the game. Is this team surprising you at all? I mean, you took a really good Nevada team and ripped them apart.
Yeah, I mean, winning by that margin of victories can be surprising for sure. Now, in the 5 games, 3 of them are home. And we're obviously, this place is buzzing pretty good right now. And so that's got to be worth a couple of points for sure when you're walking down that ramp and just seeing that energy. And our guys are feeding into it. You know, that's why you take advantage of an opportunity like this, because there is community. I don't know if pressure is the right word, but our guys know, like, our fans are going to bring it. They need to bring it. And then obviously to do it on the road at Air Force and at San Jose is surprising as well. So every game is different. You know, just because you win by 34 versus Nevada doesn't look at what we fortunately did versus New Mexico State at home, and then we played New Mexico State. We got to win by 1. So every game is totally different, and you're appreciative when you play well. You got to learn from those things and move on.
To kind of piggyback off what Geoff had mentioned too, I know on Sunday night you said after the UNLV game, you guys had looked yourself in the mirror and kind of said, you know, we're better than this. You can only say so much as a coach, but every player kind of has to make a decision with that too. Did you notice something at practice after that in the locker rooms with kind of the leaders, or what changed as well with that? Maybe?
You know, I mean, this sounds silly, but the more and more I do this, the less I think speeches matter. It's more about just putting in the work every single day and showing what you're willing to do, more so than what you're willing to talk about. All the come to Jesus meetings and all the players only meeting, great. That's whatever. To me, it's all about, do you put in the work in practice? And I think they were eager when we lost at UNLV to come back the next day and let's get to work. And I don't think they've ever not practiced hard. Everybody has bad days. But I think they understood the value of that. And that's obviously where the magic happens. It's not about saying something or whatever. It's about just putting in the work. And they've been pretty good so far. So keep doing it. I mean, you're going to get tired mentally, physically. You got to keep doing it.
I imagine you talk to your parents more than through Twitter, but can you shed any light on maybe what your mom thought about the pit and the experience and the visit?
She loved it. I mean, they as I had said before, like, the Iona game was weird because there was the elephant in the room of who do you want to win, this and that. My whole family didn't come, but a couple of them did. I don't really remember. But you want them to be proud of not just the fans, but, you know, you're showing them your kids' schools, you're getting them to meet your friends and people that you've met through the community, and to be proud of it. And my mom was here a little bit longer than my dad, but we had opportunities to go out to eat a couple times. And she saw, we went to dinner one night. My dad wasn't there, but she saw, they were a little boozed up, but she saw some Lobo fans who gave her son some great love, which is great. And they love that. You always want to see your kids being appreciated. And so they got firsthand throughout the community. When we went out to eat and did those things, they saw that. And then I walking down the ramp, now this is after Coach Alford, I get this amazing ovation. And I said to Coach Alford, I said, that's only because they don't like you. So they were going overboard with me, but we laughed about it. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine if Jack is ever a coach of he'll be some random obscure place, but to see your son treated like that is obviously very special.
Your coach was just sitting here kind of talking about don't let the highs get too high, don't let the lows get too low. But man, you guys are playing really good right now. It's got to be pretty high in that locker room. How do you guys try and counteract that?
We feel good. We feel I'm not comfortable. We're confident, but Boise State good game Wednesday, and then we gotta take ourselves on the road soon. So not too happy, but we've been showing what we can do.
And those practices, that's what after the game the other night Jalen mentioned. Coach again kind of mentioned, like, it sounds like you guys are working hard. You guys are in a good place in terms of how you're going to practice. Is that?
Yeah. Definitely. I think if somebody wasn't that way, we would, talk to them and stuff. But we have good environment in practice. We got good environment in the locker room, everybody's ready to work, ready to go hard. So it's pretty good.
It just seems like kind of everyone's on the same page with the same level of focus. Not that you guys weren't, but do you feel like it's just been ramped up these last 5 games?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah, maybe. It's everybody understands that mission. Everybody wants to win, so it's pretty easy. Yeah.
You guys, anything about this surprise you? It's not just been 5 wins in a row, but 5 double-digit wins. The last 2 by 20 or more. Sunday night was 34 against a pretty good Nevada team. Any level of how good you guys are playing surprise you?
Not really surprised, but it's been, kind of surprising. We win by that much, like the last game, but I don't know. I guess it's us, it's Nevada. Whose fault is that? I don't know. We just to go there and play basketball.
You seem more confident when you're on in your shooting. It just seems like things are clicking for you.
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
I don't know. I can't explain. Just work, just confidence. Just shoot it. That's just how I be my whole life. Just be comfortable on the court. That's probably the biggest thing.
I know you said that that one when that first 3 after a slow start went in, you did remember that one, right? And it was good. You kind of a relief. But for the most part, were you really taking shots during that slow start the same way you're taking them now, with the same catch and shoot? If I'm open, I'm shooting. Not really much thinking about it, or was there a time when you were starting to think about it more than you should?
Probably, I would say I would drive a little bit more when I could have shot the ball. Sometimes, it affects the game a little bit. I'm trying to get, myself going, maybe getting an easy bucket under the basket or something. But now it just goes up. So it goes up and goes in. So.
And what's the story behind the bow and arrow? Are you still doing that?
Yeah, sometimes.
When did you start that?
I've been doing it for a while. I've seen some guys in the NBA do it. I just think it looks cool.
Mustapha, where you are now, were you always confident you'd get to this point?
Yeah. That's how I've been. That's how I get to where I want to go. I feel like you got to be confident what you do for you to be successful. I don't think any great players are not confident in themselves, or not even basketball players, but anything you do in life, you got to be confident.
Jalen had mentioned after the game on Sunday, asked about playing Boise State, but he's just like, we're approaching every game with the same kind of mindset. And obviously you're going to have scouting and stuff, but how do you feel like that as a teammate? Is that the same thing, and how are you guys approaching just team by team?
It's Boise. We know it's a good team, so it's a little bit more excitement, I would say, games like that than some other games. But yeah, like he said, every game we try to be the same, but with the bigger the game, a lot of times it's just more build up excitement and all that stuff.
Have you been getting any communication more that you guys are playing well right now, like this 5-game stretch? Are you getting more texts from friends or just more attention? I know the team in general is. I'm curious if your phone's blowing up a little bit more now that you guys are playing as well as you are.
Yeah, definitely. Social media, big thing. So my notifications be a little bit more popping up now after the games. So yeah, I can see that.